All right, hold on. Before we start the video, I have something very important to say. I am starting the QBS Bracket Challenge. It's the second year I've done this. I'm starting ESPN Tournament Challenge pool, where if you win the Tournament Challenge pool, you get to come on my channel and talk about your bracket. It's fun. We had over like 200 people last year. It was terrific. And this year, we're doing it again. If you want to join, links in the description. Just download the ESPN Tournament Challenge app and click the link in the description. It'll ask you to join my group, and you can go join that. Just one rule, you get 2 brackets to enter. Okay, so if one screws up, you have a backup one, but I'm not going to let people join like 25 brackets. And secondly, make sure you name your bracket either like your YouTube name or an Instagram so I can DM you if you do win. So go down, click the link in the description, join the QBS Bracket Challenge. It's going to be a lot of fun, trust me. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of QBS Sports. And today we're going to be doing another Bracketology video. This will most likely be the last Bracketology I do before Selection Sunday. I might consider doing another one, but we'll have to see about that. So I'm going to go up slowly here. And the first thing we're going to cover on the back side here is my bubble, which is updated since the last bubble video I did. My last 4 buys: Stanford, Providence, Marquette, Oklahoma. Providence playing super well as of late. I think Jerry Palm has them as like a 7. I had them as a 10 or 9. I can't quite remember. Marquette trending downward. Oklahoma trending downward. Stanford got a bad loss, but I still think they're going to be okay. Last 4 in: Wichita State, Texas Tech, Cincinnati, Richmond. Wichita State, tough loss to Memphis the other day. Texas Tech lost by 4 to Kansas. That might have even helped them, to be honest. But 18-13, I think they have a big win against Louisville in Madison Square Garden, so that will help them a lot. Cincinnati, they had to fight and claw and battle against a tough Temple team, but they escaped with a win. I have them as my last 4 in, and I have Richmond also in the last 4 in. The first 4 out, Xavier suffered a loss on a buzzer beater to Butler by Kamar Baldwin. Cold-blooded shot by him right there. Texas, they got blown out by Oklahoma State. I think I lost by about 31. It was terrible. Texas, they are out. Mississippi State, trending downward in the SEC, also out. Northern Iowa lost to Drake in the first round of the Missouri Valley Conference Tournament. They still have a chance, but at 25-6, I really think they maybe should get in, but I don't think they have the resume needed. I mean, they have a win against Colorado and South Carolina, so maybe that helps. But Northern Iowa out for me. And then the next 4 out, teams that could really, really use some help: NC State, Rhode Island, South Carolina, Memphis. These teams are all going to need some major help to get in. That's just the bubble update. Now let's go back to the actual bracket. This is going to be the... Hold on, give me a second. Midwest. The Midwest, currently. Kansas, I still have as the 1 seed. They're like 29-3, big win on the road against Texas Tech. And Prairie View A&M, Robert Morris, that play-in game there. I had the winner of that going in. Arizona and St. Mary's, 2 teams from the West Coast. I think 8-9 is fair for them. Butler, I have as a 5 after that buzzer beater win against Xavier. They're not looking great, though. I'm not a huge Butler person, but the Tulsa Golden Hurricane, currently leading the American Conference, they're the projected 1 seed. Obviously, if they were to win the conference, they'd automatically get in. But I just think if they go far enough, if they at least make the championship game, for like, let's say they make the championship game and they lose to either Wichita State or Houston, I still think Tulsa would get in. Right now, I have them as a 12. Oregon, I had them as a 4. They blew out Stanford the other day on senior night. Peyton Pritchard had a great day. And then Bradley will be playing Valparaiso in the Missouri Valley Conference Championship today. Winner will be dancing. And the Missouri Valley Conference Tournament on one day, the top 3 teams of the conference all lost. And then yesterday, Bradley took down Drake, and Valparaiso was able to take down Missouri State. So Bradley and Valpo will be playing for a spot in the tournament. I think Bradley's going to win that game. They're a very good team. They almost beat Michigan State last year. I definitely wouldn't want to play them again. But Bradley, I think, will win that game. East Tennessee State, I have up to an 11 with some other teams ahead of them losing. I think that they have broken away from that 12-seed threshold. They will take out Wisconsin, who has clinched a share, at least a share, of the Big Ten title. If Michigan State were to win today, then they would hold a share, and I think the same thing goes for Maryland. Duke, They obviously beat North Carolina there. I think they're safely in. And then Wright State, I still think they can come out of the Horizon League. Maybe North Kentucky can knock them off, but I still think Wright State ends up winning that. Colorado, they're trending downwards, but they had a great start to the season. They have a win against Dayton. I think a 7's good for them. Oklahoma, they were down big. I mean big to the Horny Frogs of TCU. But they fought and clawed back. I think the guy's name was Austin Reeves or something. Had 41 points at a buzzer beater at the end. Tough fadeaway shot. Oklahoma, they survived for now. If they would have lost that game, I would have had them out of the tournament. And then Creighton, with a huge win over Seton Hall, they clinch a share of the Big East regular season title with Villanova and Seton Hall. I had them as a 2 playing the Big West leading UC Irvine. I expect UC Irvine to run away with that conference. Now we go to the... Give me a second. The West. I have Gonzaga still as the number 1 seed in the West, playing the Summit leading North Dakota State. Arizona State, they're still playing very well in the Pac-12. And Florida, they suffered a tough loss yesterday. They were up 19 at one point on Kentucky. John Calipari got thrown out of the game. That's how bad it was for Kentucky, and Kentucky managed to rally back. Kentucky only had a lead for the last 12 seconds of the game, but all that matters is if you lead at the end. Florida, I still think they're going to be fine. I still have them as a 9. Ohio State, they're looking good. They got a huge win over Illinois earlier this week. They could trend even further up with a win at Michigan State today. I don't see that happening. I have them as a 5, playing their in-state counterparts. Akron, Zips out of the MAC. They're looking very good as of late. I think that they're probably going to end up winning that conference. It's going to come down between them and Bowling Green probably. Seton Hall, Vermont. Seton Hall, tough loss against Creighton. They just kind of got torn through the woodshed in the last 5 minutes of the game. Vermont, they're running away with the America East. They got a win over Maine yesterday. I think they take on UMBC today. I expect them to win that. I think they'll get into the tournament. Penn State, they lost to Northwestern yesterday by 11. Bad loss for Penn State. I mean, that really hurt them. I had them as about a 4, dropped them all the way down to a 6. They will take on the winner of Wichita State-Richmond, which I think would probably be Wichita State. Louisville, they lost to Virginia, and I think Virginia clinches a share of the title. I'm not quite sure how that works. I know they're going to be the 2 seed in the ACC tournament. Louisville's going to be the 3, and I think Duke's going to be the 4, and Florida State's going to be the 1 seed. It would be interesting to see how that faces out. I have them playing North Texas, the current favorites to win Conference USA. Michigan and Utah State. Sam Merrill for Utah State had ice in his veins, drilled the tough shot to beat San Diego State with Fagan right in his face. That was an amazing shot. Utah State will be dancing. They're guaranteed a spot. One of 2 teams who are guaranteed a spot. Belmont is the other one. Against Michigan, who's kind of been hanging around. I still think they're a really good team. They have some really good wins that are going to stand up. They have a win against Gonzaga. I think they beat Oregon. I think they beat North Carolina earlier this year. So those wins are going to look great. At Villanova and Winthrop. Winthrop takes on Hampton today in the Big South tournament title. If Radford would have won, then my Big South bracket would have been perfect, but they lost to Hampton, and Hampton will try to knock them off there. Winthrop as a winner for St. Mary's. I expect them to win that game. We'll take Winthrop there. So that's the first half of the bracket. I have Dayton up to a 1 seed, and this is going to be the East region. I have Dayton playing the winner of North Carolina Central and Siena. North Carolina Central is, I think, in the MEAC, and Siena is in the, I think they're in the MAAC. It's MAAC. It's like the Mid-American Athletic Conference. Rutgers and LSU. I have Rutgers with Geo Baker, the big shot maker, with a huge game against Purdue. Matt Harms got put on a poster, and they finally won away from the rack, so it was good for them. LSU, they're kind of hanging around in the SEC conversation. They're going to be they're going to be one of the top seeds. They have a double bye in the SEC tournament. Auburn, they blew out Tennessee the other day. I still think they're really good. They're 24-6. They have one of the better records against Liberty, who will be taking on Lipscomb today. Now, question for all you guys. Liberty is, I think, 29-4. If they lose, do they still get a bid? I'm going to say Probably, because, I don't think you can deny a record that good. Nonetheless, I expect them to beat Lipscomb today. I think that they'll end up winning that game. Virginia, a team not getting enough respect. Not getting enough respect. Jerry Palm has them as a 7 when they are like 23-7 and they are 2 in the ACC. I don't know how you can have them anything below a 4 against the WAC leaders, New Mexico State. And fun fact about New Mexico State, they are riding the longest win streak in the entire country. 19 games for the Aggies. They are coming in with some fumes right now. I expect them to blow through the WAC. The WAC might be one of the worst conferences. But still, New Mexico State, they're always a threat come March. If this was a matchup, this would be such a good game. Iowa and Stanford. Stanford, tough loss to Oregon, but they're still like 20-10 with a decent Pac-12 conference record. I expect them to get that done. Maryland and the Colonial leaders Hofstra. Hofstra, they got upset by Northeastern last year. They're really going to want to avenge for that. I think they're going to come out and win this conference. Maryland, I had them as a 2. They lost to Michigan State. Or no, who'd they lose to? They got blown out by Rutgers earlier in the week. I dropped them to a 3. USC and Providence. USC and Onyeka Okongwu are fuming into the tournament right now. They got a huge buzzer beater. A lot of buzzer beaters yesterday. It was an amazing day of college basketball. They ended up beating UCLA on a last-second 3 down by 1. Huge shot there. I had them as a 7. Providence, they absolutely tore through DePaul, pillaged all their cities. It was terrible. I think that Providence is definitely trending in the right direction. I had them safely in the last 4 byes. I think I have them above the last 4 byes. Yeah, I have them in the last 4 byes. Florida State, also playing very well. They beat Boston College yesterday. I had them playing the Sun Belt leaders, Arkansas Little Rock, in the last division. And you guys are going to get mad for me, right? I know I'm going to get some controversy here. This is going to be the South. I have San Diego State still as the 1 seed, and I'll tell you why. They are the only members of the 30-win club. And I have Baylor as the 2 in this region, which, Baylor's from the South, so a 2 in the South for Baylor might not even be that bad. Calm down. But I think that, they're 22-4. San Diego State's 30-2. I think San Diego State has proven to be the better team. West Virginia absolutely tore through Baylor yesterday. Now, with all that being said, Eastern Washington from I think they're in the Big Sky. I think they are the best 16 seed. If I had to pick another UMBC type team, it'd probably be Eastern Washington. I would still take San Diego State here though. Houston and UCLA. I actually moved UCLA up even with their loss. They've been playing well, 19-12. I think they're going to get some respect. And then Houston, I have them as an 8. They're playing pretty well in the American. West Virginia up to a 5 with that huge win. They were really tumbling. They had lost 6 of their last 8 and then got a huge win there. I had them playing Stephen F. Austin, which one year Stephen F. Austin was a 14 seed and they beat West Virginia. I think they might be tied with New Mexico State for the longest win streak. I'll have to someone take a look at that for me. I think this could be an upset potential game. Kentucky, they got blown. They blew a 17-point lead against Tennessee earlier in the week, but then they handed the blown lead to Florida. I think they're still playing well. I have them as a 4. BYU and TJ Haas, their stud 3-point shooting team. They will be taking on St. Mary's in the West Coast Conference Tournament, probably at like midnight. West Coast Conference, come on. West Coast, play your games earlier. None of us want to stay up that late to watch your games. Michigan State taking on the other team that got an automatic bid yesterday, the Belmont Bruins. They ended up getting an automatic bid, beating Murray State. They drew a play up with 11 seconds to go. They were down 1, and this guy just cut to the basket. This dude from Murray State was caught completely off guard. Wide open layup. They win the Ohio Valley Conference. Illinois lost to Ohio State earlier this week on the road. That was a tough game. But Ayo Dosunmu and Kofi Cockburn, I think, are still great players, and I think they'll be a threat come March. I have them taking on Marquette, who's really trending in the wrong direction. They're under 500 in Big East play. I still have them hanging on as a 10 seed, however. And lastly, Baylor. I'm sorry, I had to drop them. They have lost 3 of their last 6. They're not playing great. They have not been playing like a 1 seed. I just can't put them on the 1 line, although a 2 in the South could basically be just like a 1 seed. I have Baylor as the 2 seed playing your Patriot Conference leaders, Colgate. I think that they're probably going to win that conference. I think they take on, like, Lafayette today. I can't quite remember. But that's the entire bracket. I hope you guys enjoyed. I'll see you guys next time on Focus Quincy Bell Sports. Peace out.